Welcome to Steelers Wrap Up on Pittsburgh CW.
Hello and welcome to Steelers Wrap Up here on Pittsburgh CW. I'm Rich Walsh. Because of Thursday night football game in Cleveland, the Steelers had a mini bye week over the weekend that allowed them to work on things both on and off the field. We start tonight's show with how the Steelers' official week normally begins with the best of the Mike Tomlin press conference.
As always, I'll start with a quick review of our last performance. You know, Thursday night football is what it is, man. You got to do certain things in Thursday night football. And one of the things you have to do is kind of get off the field on defense, particularly on possession downs. We didn't do that over the second half of the game. They were able to sustain long drives. A lot of it had to do with them converting possession downs, and most of those were manageable downs. And usually you're in manageable downs because your running back is doing what he does, and that's what Nick Chubb did. I just thought he controlled the game. As I mentioned after the game, I just thought in the second half he controlled the game and we didn't. And by we, I mean in all elements of the game. We didn't do enough to minimize him. We didn't do enough on offense to possess the ball and minimize his impact on it. We didn't make enough splash in special teams. And so, you know, we have to wear that. Oftentimes the team that loses on Thursday night is the team whose defense played the most snaps, and ours did. And he had a lot to do with it. I don't want to take anything away from him. You know, as always, man, we'll put together a plan highlighting the players available to us, their collective strengths, working to minimize our weaknesses, all in an effort to get the business handled this week, and our business is winning. I'll pause and open it up for questions.
Mike, you said you had a chance to use the weekend, the long weekend, like as a mini bye. Where do you assess your offense? What did you see when you looked at it?
You know, there are a lot of things that we need to do better. There are a lot of things that we'd like to do better. I think the best way to sum up my evaluation of it, whether it's the collective unit or components of the unit, is that we've been better with every outing. And so it's reasonable to expect those improvements to continue. We haven't done enough to win the last two football games, and so there's reason for alarm as it pertains to that. But largely I'm seeing improvements in all areas.
Like TJ Watt can affect the game in so many different ways. Just where are you feeling his absence most through the first 2 weeks here without?
You know, I hadn't focused on, feeling his absence. I really focused my energies on the utilization of guys that are available to us and the best ways to highlight their talent. Sometimes you can spend a lot of time or waste a lot of time worrying about people that aren't at your disposal. So I think that's my mindset and our mindset as we're here today, is to how to utilize the makeup of the guys that are available to us right now in an effort to play better. And so although, TJ's absence is a component of what's going on with us, I just think that's the proper approach in terms of how to look at it, and that's where our energies are.
Mike, I believe when you said you were talking about the offense and the improvements, you said we'll continue to tune out the noise. What's the noise?
Questions from you guys, which I anticipated. And that's why I want to display the resolve that I want our team to display.
Is some of that noise too, what are the challenges in coming back to a home stadium where, yes, it's friendly, but when they are upset about something, when fans want to change, they're very vocal about it. Is that some of the noise?
Hey, our fans are not an issue, man. We love our fans and the enthusiasm that they bring. We're not going to make that a negative. They care, and that's an awesome thing.
So Coach Tomlin was mostly upbeat on Tuesday, and hopefully those positive vibes translated to his team this week in practice, because they have a tough road ahead of them. Here are the next 5 games heading into the bye week, starting with the Jets this weekend. Next week, they're off to Western New York to face the best offense in the NFL. Then it's home to face their old nemesis, Tom Brady, before 2 road games against 2 very good teams in Miami and Philadelphia. After Coach Tomlin spoke on Tuesday, we hit the locker room starting on Wednesday to get the players' thoughts about this week. I can tell you they're not pushing the panic button yet. It was mostly business-like locker room from my perspective.
Yeah, it was a good couple days. Just rest, recover, get the body and mind back right. Talk through a lot of stuff, and it really comes down to execution, just being more detailed in our work. And when the plays are there, which they have been on film, we just got to make the plays. So feel encouraged after going back and talking through it and looking through it. So we're motivated to have a great week and come back and put it all together.
We knew this coming in, like it's a new team, new players, obviously got a new quarterback. So it's going to take time. We're going to get there. I don't want to count us out just yet. You know, it's still early in the season, so we still got a lot of football left. And I feel like we're going to be fine.
I feel like O-line, overall, we had a pretty good game. Kind of just proving ourselves to the team. And I feel like we did that. And the way that I think about it, I feel like everybody can improve. And once we do it, that'll be the turning point.
And where specifically do you see the offensive line's areas of improvement in recent weeks?
Definitely in the last game, I would say in run blocking, and our pass blocking hasn't been bad at all. I just see us being smarter in our calls, smarter in our being able to find out what the defense is doing, and being able to, make adjustments to things that we once seen a mistake on. Like if we mistake on play 5, we'll come back and do it on play 8 and be able to, okay, this is why we messed up. I think that's one of the things that we've definitely been improving on.
Yeah, I mean, sometimes we just make the play, sometimes we don't make the play, sometimes we call a play into the wrong defense or they call the right defense. You know, like it's hard to get every third down, or even like sometimes it's just unlucky the way it works out. So yeah, we'll just keep working on it, and that's an area of focus.
So 1-2 start is not ideal, but they started that way last year and finished with a winning record. Also last year, the Colts started 0-3 but won 9 games. And check out Denver and Carolina last season. They both started 3-0 but finished well under 500. Coming up, we'll take you inside what it takes to put together a Steelers road trip when we feature a section of the latest episode of The Standard. Stay tuned.
Welcome back to Steelers Wrap Up on Pittsburgh CW.
Welcome back to Steelers Wrap Up. As I know very well from my travels with the team, it takes a lot more than fans realize to put together an NFL road trip. Here's a taste of how the Steelers do just that with a portion of the latest episode of The Standard.
In a scheduling quirk, the Steelers will travel just 6,442 miles this year, the fewest in the league. And although they won't leave the Eastern time zone, they do have 9 road games to plan for.
I'm Aiden Hennessy Nyland, and I'm the team operations coordinator for the Pittsburgh Steelers. So a lot of the things that go on behind the scenes are taken care of primarily by me. One of my main focuses is team travel and operations when we're on the road. Planes, it could be hotel rooms, it's buses, it's police escorts, it's post-game meals, it's meals while we're at the hotel, all those sorts of things to be able to have the travel party get to the airport, get on the plane, fly to the away city. We get off, the buses are there, the equipment trucks are there, the police are there, take us straight to the hotel. Everything needs to be seamless, everything needs to roll together, and everything needs to be in place. And all that is the culmination of weeks and months of planning ahead of time, but those are all things that no one's going to notice that it happens if it goes well. So it's always said amongst my peers and I that the good road trip for us is a quiet road trip. Hey, what's up? So I actually started as a training camp office intern going into my senior year of high school. So that would have been the summer of 2014. I got the opportunity and I accepted it and I started working there. Loved the work, loved putting in the hours and the time to try to make it a successful training camp. When I got into college, I continued doing that all 4 years in the summers. And then I also worked for the William & Mary Tribe football department when I was in college. I was actually a double major in government and economics at William & Mary. And I always knew that I wanted to have a career in sports. My parents brought me up being very sport-centric. My dad played when he was in college. My mom was an athlete as well. But I'm also a big soccer fan. I grew up calling it football, having grown up overseas some as well. But honestly, I'm big into any number of sports. You'll find me watching sports in my free time. I like tennis, like I said, soccer, all sorts of things I'll watch.
Hennessy Nyland, now in his 9th season with the team, says in his position he just needs to stay flexible.
It doesn't matter how many times we've made a revision of a seating chart or of a rooming list, you gotta understand that things come up. Hardest ones could be if we're in the air and something needs changed at the hotel. And so it's key to, I'd say, over-communicate on the front end about a lot of things with the hotels. Just make sure that they understand that things are going to be incredibly flexible. We're not a traditional room block where things are set in stone way in advance. And we just gotta be able to roll with the punches and show up and perform.
While the Steelers' 2022 season got off to a dramatic start with an overtime win against the AFC champions,
Minka Fitzpatrick goes Walsh into the end zone, flat pass, touchdown, Najee Harris, he's hit, and he's sacked. Deontay Johnson, a miraculous catch. That kick is long enough, high enough, and it is good!
The last two matchups have ended in defeat, despite some memorable highlights.
Intercepted by Fitzpatrick. Looks for the end zone. Touchdown, and that's Pat Fryermuth. Laying out Deontay Johnson. Put it on the board. And this long pass. Ah, great catch by rookie George Pickens. What a play.
Oh, great googly moogly. I can't believe this catch. Blah, 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 blah. I'm like Myron.
In the shotgun, there's a snap. There goes Najee off left side. Bounces it for the goal line. Touchdown, Pittsburgh.
And his backs would say, that's an angry man run. Well, I think it's also a burning man run. That's all that pent-up frustration. He just cut loose there with a straight arm and showed him how to run the ball right over a man. That's John Johnson that he ran over at the goal line.
He'll get sacked at the 41-yard line. That's Alex Highsmith, who had 3 on opening day.
The Steelers now look to bounce back at home as they take on the Jets for the first of 5 games in October before the bye week.
Great stuff there from Steelers TV. To watch the full episode of The Standard, check out the Steelers website and YouTube page. Coming up, we'll hear from Merril Hoge about one aspect of the Steelers offense that has to definitely improve.
Welcome back to Steelers Wrap Up on Pittsburgh CW.
Welcome back to Steelers Wrap Up. I'm Rich Walsh. There's been a lot of focus on the Steelers quarterbacks this season, but in order for the passing game to improve, they need to establish a ground game as well. Here's Merril Hoge with what he's seen from the run game in this week's episode of the Acrisure Playbook.
Hi everyone, welcome into the UPMC Rooney Sports Complex for the Acrisure Playbook. Now we're going to focus on something that is really positive and going in the right direction for the Steeler offense. That's right, the Steeler offense. Their running game. They got 2 good runners, thumpers. They complement each other very well. But the thing that's going in the right direction is this offensive line. Bunch of new players. They're starting to come together. They've kept it very simple, but they're allowing these runners to use their strengths. Now, Jalen Warren, we're going to start with. I want to show you this particular play. It just shows the type of instincts that he has and what kind of runner he is. So let's first set up what the blocking schemes are. They're really making it simple. They're just coming off. This is kind of the inside zone. They're doubling here and doubling here, up to here and up to here. So that's the blocking responsibility. What the runner has to do, and this is important, you have to press the hole, meaning you got to get up to these double teams and press them. What that does is it's going to pull these linebackers up here. Once they get up into the line of scrimmage, then the runner has to find a hole. Well, that's exactly what he does here. Watch how beautiful this is. As he gets up into the line of scrimmage, see right there, he's pressing the hole. You see all of these linebackers are up in there. He's pulled everybody up the line of scrimmage. They're even. Now when we say press the hole, he gets up in the line of scrimmage so he can find a hole. He eventually does that. Pops through, gets a 6 or 7 yard run, and that's a big run in the National Football League. Awesome job by the runner. Now let's go to Najee Harris. Now this is a little more complex. The design of this is actually very cool. First, let's though focus on the offensive line. What a great job they do here of getting their individual blocks and getting people on the ground. That's the first thing you gotta learn. Win at the line of scrimmage, which they do here. Offensive line, beautiful job here. As we snap the ball, look at that. You got people on the ground, okay? You got people being blocked. At the line of scrimmage, you've won. Now, if you have this wicked runner right here and you win there, just right there, you're gonna have success. We're gonna back it up just a little bit so now you can see the effect of the design that they have here. I wanna show you this. Now let them get aligned. So now I wanna watch these linebackers here. Neither one of them are gonna move. I want you to watch how this frees them. Why? Well, Fryermuth, he comes this way. Pickens, he comes this way. This misdirection stuff freezes these guys. You know, they can't come downhill like this because of that action. So the design of this also helps. When you see it all come together, try to stop it at the right time. You can see what happened. You got everybody, you got people on the ground, people blocked for them. When I say people on the ground, Cleveland Browns people on the ground. And look at the runner. Najee Harris has options everywhere. Boy, when you do these type of things, your running game going in the right direction. And if it keeps rolling like this, it's going to get this offense back on track and give the Pittsburgh Steelers a better chance of winning a lot of football games.
Thanks, Merril. Coming up, we'll talk about what happened off the field this week when the Steelers took time to make our community a little better. Specifically, team leader Cam Heyward, who captained his week of kindness throughout the Pittsburgh area.
Welcome back to Steelers Wrap Up on Pittsburgh CW.
Welcome back to Steelers Wrap Up. Steelers defensive leader Cam Heyward has always been active in the community, but this week he ramped things up with his Cam's Week of Kindness. Literally, every day this week, Heyward led efforts to make our community a little better. With the help of his foundation, the Heyward House, he traveled all around Western Pennsylvania, putting smiles on people's faces.
And 3, 2, 1. Go ahead and reach inside your box. What do you feel in there?
We got the kickoff Cam's Kindness. We're here at Children's Hospital. TJ Watt came out and helped support it, but we got to go in their studio and do what's in the box. But you know, it's just about trying to interact with some of the patients here, making sure we can give back, and it's a heck of a way to kick off Cam's Kindness.
In funky braids with beads, I'm Princess. Does she look like a princess?
Yes. This is our second day of Cam's Kindness, and you know, we got to come out here. I got to read a story to the kids. We got to paint a little library we donated outside the school. And I'm just very excited to be out here. This is the first time we've done something like this, to do everything all in one for a whole week. And these kids were excited, and I know the little library is going to be something they use in the future.
Good job!
Nice. I'm truly honored and excited to be here this afternoon in front of you to open the newest location of Craig's Closet. And I want them to know that they are seen, heard, and through this program, we are there to support them as they push forward their future goals.
And Cam wasn't the only Steeler giving back this week. Our Brianna Smith followed along with Najee Harris on Tuesday when he gave his time for a very worthy cause.
This is a picture of the grab-and-go breakfast cart. It will be filled with nutritious food for students to eat every morning so that they're fueled and focused for the day. If Najee Harris isn't making moves on the football field, he's doing it in the community. On Tuesday morning, Harris revealed a new system at Barack Obama Academy to make sure no students are left hungry.
I hope that they relate to me is because I was once in some of these kids' shoes, so I can relate to them better. I understand what they're going through because, like I said, not too long ago I was in these bleachers. Not too long ago I was in these shoes where they're struggling, at home. About 1 in 10 Pennsylvania households are food insecure, according to the nonprofit organization Gen Youth. So Harris, Gen Youth, and the American Dairy Association donated this grab-and-go breakfast cart.
Often breakfast in the cafeteria is a challenge. It takes extra time to make it from the bus to the cafeteria, and sometimes there's a stigma associated with eating breakfast in the cafeteria at school.
Starting next week, more than 600 students can choose from milk, fruit, whole grains, and protein for breakfast. The Gen Youth CEO says this program is proven to increase participation in meals by 27%.
Almost a third of the students are getting breakfast that weren't getting it before, which is tremendously important. It helps with their nutritional intake, but as well as their academic performance.
For us to find ways where we could keep helping them out and keep, making sure that they're going to be at tiptoe and they're going to have the strength to go on in life and to move forward, I think that's very important.
Harris and Gen Youth are also focused on the students' physical activity. They're donating 26 NFL flag in schools kits to promote health and fitness through flag football.
For me to get out, obviously, was playing sports. So to play sports and to get out and get like at least 60 minutes a day, it's always healthy. You always want to keep your body in the best shape and healthy as possible.
Improving the mind and body so all students can score their own victories. In Barack Obama Academy, Brianna Smith, KDKA News.
Thanks, Brianna, and props to the Steelers players for giving back to the community all week. Coming up, we'll preview our plans for KDKA Steelers coverage on Sunday. Stay tuned.
Welcome back to Steelers Wrap Up on Pittsburgh CW.
Welcome back to Steelers Wrap Up. We're almost out of time tonight, but we did want to prep you for how we'll be covering the Steelers on Sunday. We start with Steelers kickoff at 11:30 in the morning. Then we'll have the game on our air at 1. After the game, switch over to Pittsburgh CW, where Bob Pompiani and Chris Hoge will bring you Steelers Extra Point immediately after the game ends. After Extra Point, they'll open up the phone lines and get your reaction to the game on the Ireland Contracting Nightly Sports Call Special Edition. That's all the time we have tonight. Thanks for watching Steelers Wrap Up. We'll see you on Sunday morning for Steelers Kickoff.